Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, B Farm, thinking right out here in my lab in the wee hours of the morning, and I'm in the book. Oh, we're gonna learn about shipbuilding. The Egyptians, Cometians. These are two of the oldest boats known in history. Okay, let's talk about the same people who counted the stars, astrology. The same people gave us civilization, history of God, religion, all those things. You think they didn't know how to build a damn boat? Let's talk about it. They built portable boats. How about that? Way before we came up with the idea. All right, let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. I'm giving history lesson now. Storytelling. Message in my stories for life. I give life lesson, now history lesson. You tune in hopefully to receive it. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? So let's get that together. And I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about shipbuilding. It's gonna be a nice little lesson. And from here, I think I'm going to. Yeah, we about to run out. Next chapter. The Europeanization of Kemet. What the hell is that? That's when the invaders, the white people, came in and started changing what we did to suit their fancy, or take what we did and present it to the world like it was theirs. Sound familiar? I'm gonna break that down to you. Again, this is all our history from us talking about the contribution we made to civilization that they don't talk about in school. So I'm giving you history right here. Let's go. Shipbuilding. The ability of the people of Kemet, Nubia, and Ethiopia. Did you know that Ethiopia is the only continent on the Africa that the white man didn't take over, colonize, and enslave? You know why? They could fight. And everybody who went up against African continents had a little problem with them was because they could fight and defend themselves. I come from the projects. If you couldn't fight, you couldn't survive. Simple as that. I survived. Well, I could fight. That's simple as that. Ain't no bragging, no. But if you can't fight, you can't survive. So that's one of the tidbit. And that white man, if you can't defend yourself against him, you would be enslaved by him. We're still enslaved. All right. Why? We can't fight with this. We still think about this. No, them days is over. This is the fight right here. God damn it. Excuse me. But yeah. I'm trying to enlighten you so you can be preparing yourself for the fight in life. You got to win against the competition. That's him. Understand that? Okay. That's what I said taught Haru. You got to make sure you fight against the enemy. Why? He's always going to try to control you, manipulate you. Sound familiar? Back to the boat builder. Sorry, see, once I start going, yeah, I'm going. So I need this to keep me in due bounds. All right, let's go. Boat builders. In Ethiopia, they all explored the new world. Why? They had transportation. They transported goods and they ferried huge monoliths for temple construction. They were bringing tons and tons of black stone up and down the Nile River to build a pyramid. So they've been boat for a long time. And to get more into the boats. I was fascinated about this. Everybody seemed to think that the Vikings was the boat builder. No, y'all just was boat nomads. Once they figured they can go somewhere else's land and tear it up, so that was their thing. They would just come purge and tear the land up and go about their business, get back on their boats. They called them sea people. Okay, wow. They come up. If you ain't got no boats, you ain't used to going nowhere. So when people come up to your spot, oh yeah, no, them were the wrong ones. The Indians still say, my man the Seminole said, I told you we should have killed that pale face when he landed on our damn shores. They still got spots in Africa that don't allow people to visit. Why? Y'all tear stuff up. We fine. Don't come here with that nonsense. Simple. When people got, why they people gate their community? Keep people out. Why? The undesirable. We doing fine. Y'all keep that nonsense out of there. Suburbs, what? Moving away from the what? Us, the bad doers, low level people. I ain't gonna go that race thing, but yeah, they separate themselves. But when it comes to the boat builder, the Egyptians, the Cometians was the originals. Watch this. And they had to use boats to build the temple constructions, the pyramids. That was facilitated by their capacity to build and navigate a variety of seagoing vessels. We know them as boats, okay? And you see, they hold Ra, what? Ra's in a celestial boat. One in the daytime and one at night. But it's a boat. Why? He's traveling across the water. But the celestial boat, wouldn't that make it a spaceship? I ain't going there, but a flying boat, boat on water. We understand that. And they built boats. Why is this? So that was the thing about, I keep getting off track. Sorry about that. Get back. Let's talk about this boat thing. They have built and navigated variety of seagoing vessels. The Papyrus reed boats have been in use in the Nile Valley since, you ready? The earliest dynasties. And the development of navigational skills allowed them, the builders of larger ships, to what? Travel to other lands. The African continent, they traveled circumference that, and they went across the Atlantic, and they went across the Mediterranean. They had traveled all over this thing. Why? They were the builders of the boat. They was able to travel. They didn't have cars then. Okay? So how you gonna get across water? Everybody can't walk on water like Jesus. So had to get boats. And the first use of a sailboat on a ship has also been traced to the Nile Valley. Everything came out of the Nile Valley civilization. They had the Indus Valley. They had a whole bunch of people up and down the whole thing, living, doing great things way before invaders came in and started tearing their stuff up. I got that part for you too. Oh, the European nations is when the invaders came in. We had a bunch of them. Moving on. All right. One thing we didn't have, and to this day, boy, because we wasn't prepared with the army. We didn't have an army. Downfall. Okay. Like I said, Mike was right back then. If you were strong and powerful, you could just overrun everybody, just take this stuff. And when the Africans want to go to war, my man to get 100,000 his warriors, march to your door. You want a war? You want peace? What you want to do? How you want to do this? We ready. Take peace. Okay, give me your daughter. I'll marry her to the queen and we family. I found out that Solomon, y'all wise king, he was smart. Yeah, he was smart. He had all the concubines. No, he married off. He married into every group that opposed him. He married them, made them family. So he was a peacetime king. What? There was no war. He was had everybody together. That was genius. Okay, moving on. I'll get there where that come from. But okay, the Nile Valley. They allowed for the building of the largest ships, and they traveled up and down. In the first sails from the ship was found in the Nile Valley. The historical record of Kemet is replete with numerous examples and proof of seafaring abilities. Ra is the man jet in the daytime. The boat of Ra. Love that. Okay, see, and everything for them was symbolical, but it made sense if you understood it, and they understood now. But back then, the masses was involved with the education and the philosophy that they lived by. They didn't have a choice to be wise or be stupid. Everybody had to be what? Wise. Why? If you want to live, if you want to survive the afterlife, you had to do certain things in this life. So everybody was held accountable. Right now, we got ignorant people thinking they're going to heaven. We got a bunch of people think they're going to heaven. Damn heaven, where you going? How you living here? We missed the whole point of doing what we do here. Like my man Sadi said, everybody think we got a better place somewhere else. Do you know that for sure? And if you know that, why don't you just go? Why waste your time here? Why go through life struggling, putting up whatever you got to do to get there? If you got a better place, just go there. There is none. I agree 100%. All right. Now, but historically, all right, the numerous examples of seafaring abilities, we had to get a pharaoh called Sennacherib. Okay. The first king of the fourth dynasty. Now, this is the fourth dynasty. He's the first king. So we done went through 3, 2, and 1 early time. So we went, a few things were going on before we got to the fourth dynasty. But it was said to have sent a fleet of 40 ships to Lebanon. Lebanon is the place of the tree, the Lebanon cedar, the biggest, best wood in the world. They knew that way back then. To this day, Lebanon's still producing the best wood in the world. Okay, King Solomon got his wood for Lebanon. Okay, and back then, we wasn't building in wood. We were building ships of wood. We built in stone. Okay, and from the 4th dynasty to the 12th dynasty, we had another pharaoh. He was Ka-Kepra Ra-Sin Washret the first. Now he was also known by the Greeks. Again, we know his name. The Greeks called him the key crops, with Cheops. I came in later on, but the Greeks called us everything, but we called ourselves. They called us everything different. Why is that? Because they stole our identity and presented to the world as if it was theirs. And he crossed the Mediterranean Sea, and he founded. You ready? He founded the city of Athens, Greece. Did y'all know? Do anybody know that the founder of Greece, Athens, was a black man? No, they don't tell you that. But they'll present you with their philosophy, they'll present you with their gods and their mythology, but they don't tell you the truth. Who educated them? I know that for a fact. I got a master's degree in Greek philosophy, and at that time did they speak about the Egyptians. I found out about Egypt when I went started studying my Egypt. I said, well, I be. So I've been ragging them ever since. Why? Dude, y'all thieves. Y'all stole everything I learned from them in the beginning. When I went to Egypt, found out, how do I know this? Yeah, I got it from them. They got it from the Egyptians. And all they great philosophers, anything that did anything of worthy of this out of Greece, went to Egypt. We went by the military, we went about 400 miles difference away, so we communicated with them on a regular basis. We knew them well. First of all, the truth is, we educated them at 5000 BCE. We went over there and enlightened them and taught them, okay, and they would come to us to get further advanced education, okay? They come back, they famous. But they didn't tell the world that they went to Egypt. I found that out when I went to Egypt. They had a bunch of crackers coming in. I know them guys. Why? I studied under them. I know them. Plato, Socrates, Aristotle. I know all of them. All of them went to Egypt. But they don't say that. See the difference? My brother can tell me, man, stop bagging on your teachers who taught you. I like to give credit where credit's due. Some people different, but that was my thing. But back then, yeah. But Athens, Greece was founded by a black pharaoh. No tidbit there, no history. Trying to keep your breath. Because they don't teach you this. They don't put this in books. They're not going to tell you that. They want you to think you're slaves. So your whole mentality is, oh, I was a slave. Oh, woe is me, that white man. We was doing fine before the white man even came into the picture. Okay, he wasn't at the building of the pyramids. He still don't know how to figure out how we did them yet. Okay, and all he want to do is know how we did it. So why? So he can do it. In the 25th, after the 20th, we got to 25th dynasty. Now during the reign of Necho, Necho II, navigational technology had been so advanced at that point where sailors from Kemet successfully circumnavigated Africa and drew an extremely accurate map of the continent. We the one that mapped it out. But the white man came and did his thing to chop it up to decide who's going to run it. That's another lesson. But when we were doing our own thing, we knew our continent. We knew everybody on our continent. We had a problem with each other. When that guy came in, all of a sudden we had war with each other. Everybody's fighting each other. Ain't nothing. The only one who stood firm was the Nubians and the Ethiopians and the Sudanese. Everybody else buckled. What? They came in and just took over. Simple. They just came and disrupted. We got a law. Okay, strong arm. That's when you go to a little guy. Man, give me your stuff. Give me it. Just take it. What are you gonna do? See? But if you can fight, much respect. Much respect. That's the only thing they respect. Might respects might. Anything else, they don't care. Okay, so understand. Damn religion, damn God. No. How you think the black guys became white? Because the one who got in control, all of a sudden now God looks like them. It's a little more bit. I can't help it. I'm gonna keep throwing them in there. All right, we call them jewels. All right, information that you didn't have, something that just something to have. It's better to have a little knowledge and don't need it than to need little knowledge and don't have it. A lot of us on that don't have it trip, and that's not good for nobody. So just take it. You never know when you might need it. Like my man said, just in case. Back in the day, I carried my gun. A lot of times I didn't need it, but just in case. Better to have and don't need it than to need it and don't have it. If you ever been caught out there with your pants down, you realize, I'm doing this again. Moving on. I can't get out of that mindset. Stop. Okay. But they did circumnavigated the continent of Africa. Now, in 1970, the Norwegians, speaking of the Vikings, a Norwegian-born ethnologist, okay, checking stuff out. Thor, okay, we know from the Norwegians, Thor Heyerdahl and his crew of 7 sailed on a papyrus reed boat that they both named it Ra II, and they got the idea they went from the west coast of Africa to the Caribbean. Now Heyerdahl based his design of that boat on what? Paintings found in the Nile Valley monuments, and he hired Africans to construct the ship. Okay, we are the shipbuilders. Again, they don't tell you that either. We think we see ships, we think about who? The Vikings, right? Yeah, the Vikings. Oh, they're really. We taught them. His aim was to prove that sailors from Kemet could have sailed in similar boats across the Atlantic Ocean to what they called the New World, okay? And that was America at that time. United went over here. They called it the New World. But the most impressive ancient burial ships ever discovered was what? Was 4,600-year-old barge. Okay? Found buried near where? The Great Pyramid. And what's this? The Khufu Giza Plateau, where? In 1954. They found a ship. Not altogether. No. Taken down. Okay? This 132-foot gondola-shaped vessel weighed an estimate 35 tons, and it was built almost entirely of Lebanon cedar wood. Okay, the entire craft was made of 1,224 pieces, like a damn jigsaw puzzle, right? And they portable of wood, which were literally sewn together with rope, strung through the slits of the sides of the hull. No rivets, no metal, just wood and rope. They knew that when the rope got wet, it would swell. Okay, and the swell tighten up what? On the wood. They made it automatic seal. Genius. Okay, genius. Still today, it still works. The same concept they had back then, they still use it today. Why? They had it right. They got it right. But it was equipped with what? 10 oars, okay, for rowing, and 2 others were attached to the stern and served as rudders. I know this, with the stern at the back of the boat. Okay, they used that to now. So they had this thing already figured out. Remember, Ra rides across the sky in the sun with a celestial boat, a barge. At their funeral processions, they buried him with the boat, his barge that he traveled on up and down the Nile Valley. They're still doing it to this day. When you want to go up, all you got to let the breeze take you. When you come back down, put the sails up. But they had that figured out also. Watch this. Let me wrap it up for you. Here we go. Now, back them days, the entire ship was 23 pieces. Trying to get it. Okay, now watch this. In the fall of 1991, Egyptologists discovered a fleet, not one, but a fleet of 12 royal ships. Okay? That means the Pharaoh had to have his transport. That's like us with the Rolls Royce and the caravan and limos. They had that in ships. Okay? And what's this? 12 royal ships, which were found at Abydos. Now, Abydos is where the body of Asar washed up the shore, Syria now. But Abydos was an ancient burial ground which was 280 miles south of Cairo. Only way you can get there is get on the boat. Okay? These ships are 50 to 60 feet long and are estimated to be about 5,000 years old. They are believed to be the earliest boats found on Earth. The world's oldest and best preserved wooden boat is currently right now on display in the museum next to the Great Pyramid of Giza. That's how the pyramid blocks got to Giza by the Nile Valley on what? Boats. So we were the boat builders. That's when to get that little lesson in right there. You just learn something about boats. Some people don't give it. I don't care about no boat, but it's all what? Our history. This is what we contribute to the world. Okay? If you go on a cruise, if you travel the world, think about us. Why? That's what we gave you the ability to do. That's our history. Get better at knowing what we've done, not what somebody's telling us about that. I'm giving you what we do. I'm about to tell you how the white man came and tried to Europeanize Kemet. I'll be right back. Right thinkers, me all need to be 100, me 100 miles a day. So I know that my right thinkers who starting to get their history of them, real history of themselves that passed away. Know yourself before you pass away. Know who you were, our great people. Still all we got to do is figure it out and get back.